careful of this scam in the Dominican Republic. It can cost you thousands. What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of Dell's Deals, and this time we're going to be talking about scams that could cost you thousands of dollars when doing real estate in Dominican Republic. Today, our video is hosted by the beautiful Blue Sky Villa, 12-bedroom villa here in Sosua. If you're interested in booking, send me a message. We'll get you locked in, get you squared away. Beautiful villa, modern pool, jacuzzi, dining area, just like you saw in the video. Beautiful views right here in the heart of Sosua. Now let's get into how you can get scammed out of thousands of dollars in Dominican Republic when buying and selling real estate. Oftentimes, you may be purchasing real estate, and once you make that purchase and they get ready to transfer that title, they may look like they're going to give you a deal and save you some money. Here's exactly how this plays out. Say you're buying a piece of land for $100,000 or a property for $100,000. Now, you typically pay transfer tax on that piece of property, which can be 3%. That is your responsibility as the buyer. Now, the owner may say, hey, I'll save you some money, and we'll just put on the title that you paid $10,000. So instead of paying $3,000 to transfer the title, you only had to pay $300. Initially, it sounds like, oh man, appreciate that. That's a good look for me. And you may save a couple $1,000, $2,700 in this case. However, what happens in the long run is where you lose. They're not actually looking out for you at this point. They're looking out for themselves. You see, they are on the end of what's called capital gains tax. You are in that current position of transfer tax. The main difference is the percentages. One person is paying to transfer, which is you, the title over to your name. And it's typically 3% at the time of this video. However, the other person is probably making a profit. They may have bought that piece of land for $10,000, for $5,000, $20,000, whatever the price it is, but they're now selling it for $100,000. And here's where they're looking to save themselves more than to save you. So they are on the end of what's called capital gains tax. So they would have to pay upwards of 25% of the profit on their end. So their goal is to say, hey, I didn't make that much profit, all right? Their goal is to show on paper that I bought it for $10,000, I sold it for $10,000, I didn't make any money. And for you, you think, oh, that's great, they saved me $2,700. However, on the back end, once you resell the property, this is where you're going to take the loss. So let's play around with the math a little bit. Now, going into this deal, it was positioned to save you $2,700. You say, oh, that's great, I can save some money. I just bought a new place, I can use that to furnish it or buy some appliances. However, you have the place, you bought it for $100K, you stayed there 5-10 years, the market has done well, the property is now worth $250. So you go to sell your property, we'll say $200 to make the math easy. You go to sell your property for $200,000. Now, you're going to be on the hook for capital gains tax. And remember, we're talking about taxes. Generally, taxes only go up. So even at the current time when the tax rate might have been 25%, it may be 30 or 32 when you get ready to go sell. So you bought it for $100, you're selling it for $200, and arguably you would have $100,000 in profit, which is considered taxable by capital gains. However, your title says you only paid $10,000. So instead of you paying $25,000 on the profit, you're going to pay upwards of $45,000 because your title says you bought it for 10, not 100. So the government is looking at, you made almost $200,000 profit from this property. And therein lies the issue. So you didn't save yourself $2,700 in the beginning. You may have cost yourself almost another 25 grand, right? And that's if the tax rate happens to stay the same, which taxes always go up. So keep this in mind when you're looking at buying a property and you're transferring the property over to your name. That contract may say, hey, we're going to do a little bit lower to save you some money. However, in the end, you will be left holding the bag, and a big bag that will be, because you'll pay a much higher percentage on that capital gains, because the capital gains will look as though it was much more than it truly was. So there may be some creative accounting that some people may be able to do, but generally, if you're doing things clear across the board, this is what you will encounter on the back end when you go to sell. So they're not really looking out for you, they're looking out for them, and you will get screwed in the end. Appreciate you watching. Again, thanks to Blue Sky Villa for letting us use this property today. If you're interested in booking, tap in with me, send me a comment. I'll send you the information and the details how you can book this beautiful 12-bedroom property here located in Sosua. Catch you on the next video. Meet me at the beach or the bank. I'm out. And here we have it. Beautiful 12-bedroom, pool, jacuzzi, massive piece of land, basketball courts, multiple seating areas, modern, outdoor kitchen, everything you need. Huge jacuzzi, sitting area, fireplace, massive dining space, pool table, dining for 12, outdoor kitchen, indoor kitchen, basketball court. Let's check out this room beautifully. King size bed, air conditioning, Bluetooth speakers, modern bathroom, jacuzzi in the bathroom. They have everything you need. If you're interested, send me a comment. We'll book today.